everybody, I'm John Granado. This is Josh Jordan. You can hear us on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. You can also see Josh's work, sportsmaphouston.com. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet so you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Josh, Lamar Jackson, going to the Colts possibly at number 4 if they can work out a deal. The Texans probably get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. I'm not sure they get C.J. Stroud, but the Colts are better. Listen, in my opinion, whoever gets Lamar Jackson is going to be better off, right? Than they would be with a rookie quarterback, even if it's Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. But would you rather have Lamar Jackson than Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud if you're the Colts?
If I'm the Colts, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson because they're probably not going to have a shot at Stroud or Bryce Young. You know, if they want one of those guys, they're going to have to move up. I don't see either one of them getting to 4.
Well, you're going to have to give up 2 1s for Lamar Jackson.
You are.
So would you give up 2 1s for a Bryce Young as opposed to a Lamar Jackson?
I mean, if I'm going to give up 2 1s, give me Lamar Jackson. Give me the guy that's won an MVP. You know, a guy 45-16 as a starter. I mean, that's pretty impressive. He's a sure thing. I know what he can do in the NFL. The other guys, we don't know yet. It's just a projection. So if I'm the Colts, Lamar Jackson, I think, would be the move for me.
Okay. Now, if you're the owner, you got to put $250 million in escrow. You've got a guy who has not played well in the postseason. You've got a guy who's missed the end of the last 2 seasons, and you've got a guy who's got unrealistic contract demands and questionable whether or not he quit on his team last year, as opposed to starting from scratch with a young guy. I don't know that Bryce Young wouldn't be more attractive to me than Lamar Jackson.
Look, I get that. I think the money is going to be negotiable. I don't think there's any way he's getting the 230 or whatever that Deshaun has. I think there's a 130 deal on the table for him with the Ravens right now. I think maybe if you're the Colts, you could negotiate. Like maybe you can get Lamar to take 150 or 160, something in between, because if he doesn't come down and negotiate a little bit, he's stuck on that franchise tag with the Ravens. And then you have to worry about, is he going to sit out games and possibly lose more money? So I think Lamar's going to have to – I think he's going to have to give in and negotiate and compromise a little bit.
I don't think that's going to happen. First of all, he has his mom as his rep, and she's unrealistic. She thinks that Lamar should be paid. It's his turn to make all the money, right? And I just don't think that they have a realistic view. And plus – at 160, is he disgruntled? If I'm bringing Lamar Jackson in, I want him to be as happy as possible. And I think that you're going to have to – and what that is pay that man his big money. Would you rather, if you were the Texans, having Lamar Jackson or either Stroud or Young?
No, if I'm the Texans, you have a shot at Stroud or Young. You can just take him at number 2. Start over. You got your quarterback. You got that contract too, 5-year contract. That means that you can put pieces around your quarterback. You can build. I think that's a much easier plan for the Texans than having to give all that guaranteed money and give up all those draft picks. That doesn't make sense. They can sit right there at 2 and take their guy.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. I want to start over. Listen, there's everybody's claiming collusion with Lamar Jackson. But Deshaun Watson's contract has really skewed the league, especially for a guy like Lamar Jackson who doesn't have a realistic agent. Deshaun Watson's contract and that $230 million guarantee that he got from the Cleveland Browns is screwing up the entire league right now.
It is, and I see a lot of people complaining that, you know, the Falcons owner was talking about how he doesn't like the money for Lamar compared to Deshaun and how the situations were different and all that kind of stuff. He made the point about Lamar missing games. Well, Deshaun's missed more games than Lamar Jackson, but my point being is once the Browns were willing to guarantee all that money, all those other teams that were in on it with Deshaun, they bailed. They were like, we're not giving up $230 million guarantee. They all left. So I don't think it's apples to apples. Once the other teams saw what the Browns were willing to do, they all said, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where I'm at with it.
Listen, and I think Lamar's getting hurt by Deshaun's play at the end of last season, which is unfair. You said he missed games, but he missed games of his own accord. He decided not to play for the Houston Texans, and then he was suspended by the league for those other 11 games, and he came back rusty. I don't think Lamar's coming back rusty. I think you know what you're going to get from Lamar Jackson. Now, he is getting a little bit older, And is he going to still be that same athletic? Is he going to be as athletic as he was? Because he's still not a great passer. He's not going to be a great passer. He's a winner, and he affects winning. But at some point, I don't know how long-term a deal you give to Lamar Jackson, because that athleticism is going to start to decline.
Oh, 100%. I think this is a deal where maybe you give him a 5-year deal, but only the first 3 years are guaranteed. So, you give him maybe $50 million a year, something like that for the first 3. And then, the rest of the contract, we'll see. We'll see how you look later. The other thing I'd bring up too, man, he had no weapons with the Ravens. Yes, I mean, Mark Andrews and then a bunch of nothing at wide receiver. Imagine if he actually had some top tier wideouts to throw to, what his ceiling could actually be. No,
absolutely. I mean, the Colts are better there. They're better. They're with their offensive line. They're just going to be better.
Pittman.
Period.
Yep.
If they do, he's a better option. Listen, Lamar's a better option than a rookie quarterback. There's no question. But there are all kinds of question marks to come along with him. I don't think there's no question about that either.
The way he's handling his business, I think, is hurting it too, John. It feels like he's kind of a headache, and he's making everything public. And you don't want a headache when you're paying somebody that much money.
Heck no.
You just don't.
I don't want to hear. We'll see if the Colts got the Colts are better. Listen, the Colts will be the best team in the division next year if they get Lamar Jackson. There's no question in my mind.
No way around it.
Yeah, no way around it. But you got all those headaches to go along with it.